Has something startled you?
Did they do something to my head?
You don't look well. You should take better care of yourself.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Play The Evil Within with me, Jerupitus. And did you notice that? It was very subtle, but in the last cutscene, as the doctor goes to impale us with that implement, he briefly turns into Kidman, and I think that is very interesting. Now, on our desk here, we're going to notice that there is a safe with blood exploding out of it and a newspaper. So let's go ahead and grab the newspaper. Church floor collapses. No injuries. Witness says miracle. Biggest church scandal to date. Floor of Cedar Hill Church collapses during renovations. Parishioner says it was a miracle. No one was injured. And since we just grabbed a newspaper, I may as well talk about this right now. I have missed one or two newspapers. That's not really going to be a big deal. We are still going to get a very clear picture of what's going on in the game, but I will try to be better about getting those because I get so excited to come here to use my keys like we're going to right now, or use my green gel to upgrade, that sometimes I forget to check the newsstand. So I will try to be more diligent about that going forward. Now let's go ahead and use our key. And we get a bunch of shock bolts, and that's good because I was starting to talk about shock bolts in the last video, or maybe the one before, and like this game likes to do, some other things kind of came up. So to quickly finish my thought about those, how shock bolts work is they paralyze enemies with electricity, and you use them to rain punishment on enemies. You can't sneak kill them like with flash bolts, and freeze bolts do sort of the same thing, except for they will kill lesser enemies like regular haunted and things like that. Otherwise, they're actually pretty similar to the shock bolts. And with that out of the way, why don't we analyze these photographs on the desk?
Photographs? A church.
And we are plunged into total darkness. Oh, man. That part reminds me of The Ring, where the little girl's crawling out of the TV at you. It's just terrifying. And speaking of terrifying, I just want to point out that we are in the safe room right now, and I don't feel safe at all. I feel very uncomfortable.
What was that sound?
Oh, and the way the wheelchairs move all by themselves. Oh, man. It gives me goosebumps. I love it. Now, the way out of here is going to be this way. So why don't we go ahead and head this direction? Let's go follow the nurse. But when we come to the end of this hallway, we're going to realize that to our left is a door and to our right are some stairs down. These didn't used to be here. It used to just be a hallway that terminated with this mirror and there was nothing here. But since there are some stairs down and the nurse went that way, let's go ahead and descend. Ooh, and that is a big piece of foreshadowing. That and the safe on our desk are going to be a little taste of someone we're going to meet a little bit later on. And now as we head down this hallway, if we look to our left and our right, we'll notice that these are the same doors from the hospital. This is the same hallway, but we have been transported somewhere else.
Leslie?
Sebastian? Sebastian? Sebastian?
And here we are. We have been teleported to that church that we read about where the floor collapsed, or at the very least, very nearby it. There's a harpoon bolt. That is nice. And some of those ammo drops and the lockers are random. So, depending on what spawns for you, it may change the texture of your playthrough, which is really sweet, if you ask me. And now at the top of these stairs, we are in for a real treat. Oh, man. Look at that. This vista is absolutely gorgeous. This game came out 7 years ago, and look at how good it looks. It is just a beautiful game, and I always take a moment to just appreciate it when I come up here.
Same place as the photographs.
And this is the beginning of Chapter 6, Losing Grip on Ourselves. Now, I hope that I've done a good job describing what each of the crossbow bolts do. They all kind of have their own little quirks to them, but they're all really good. And I will try to show all of those off as much as I can. And now up here, we're going to find a couple of handgun bullets. And that is a clue that we want to shoot down these boxes. But since I know that there are shotgun shells in this one, I'm just going to use my shotgun. Since I can't carry anymore anyways, I may as well expend the bullets to open that crate. And there's going to be a healing item right here, and I'm going to go ahead and use that right away, because there is a very good reason to have your life total be as high as possible, but we'll see that in just a minute. For right now, we can explore this house on the left. There's going to be another hanging crate. That's going to refund most of our handgun bullets. And behind this guy is going to be a goddess statue. So we're going to punch it in the face and collect our key. There are going to be 4 total keys, including that one and 2 map tiles in this chapter. And we're going to find all of those as usual. Now let's see if I can hit this shot up here. Take a shot at this raven. Nope. But let's go figure out what that sound was.
Are you all right?
My head wouldn't stop buzzing. It felt like it was about to crack open. But now it's like I'm starting to get used to it.
You seen Kidman?
No. Next thing I knew, I was here. I must have blacked out, or maybe I turned again.
Inside. Let's go.
Another one?
Get that thing open.
I'm working on it. Just give me a little time.
All right, we have met up with Joseph, and you know what that means. When it's Joe time, it's go time. Now, this section is very difficult for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that if Joseph ends up dead, you lose. and you have to start over. Obviously, you can get yourself killed. There's plenty of things to get hung up on in the environment. It's very tight, and the enemies are numerous and belligerent.
Can't hold them off much longer.
Now, I want to let you know that I am recording this voice part after succeeding at this because I found that this section requires immense concentration, and I just couldn't do it while commentating and explaining the difficulty and what you want to do. Now, the way I use that second barrel, you definitely want to use it that way to take out the first fat enemy that comes through. And then just focus on knocking enemies down, because you just need to buy Joseph time. This section is on a time limit, but the time limit is predicated on you protecting Joseph and allowing him to disarm the bomb. If he gets occupied by an enemy attacking him, he can't disarm the bomb, and then the section just keeps going. So let's move on to part 2. Now, this is the part where you start getting really nervous, because if you die here, you have to start the whole thing over from the beginning and tackle the first part again. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm ready to go with my agony crossbow bolts, and I've got the ones on that I want, just in case of panic time, which is going to be the flash bolts, which is going to stun everyone in the room and let me collect myself. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is push this barrel more towards the middle of the room, and I end up pushing that one too far for it to be relevant, but as long as they both don't go off when you shoot it, you're in good shape. And man, watching a successful run, this part doesn't look very difficult, but just so many things can go wrong. And they can go wrong so quickly.
I'll get the trap. You hold them off. There's twice as many of them. You've got time to
Now I do a really nice piece of technique here. I'm very proud of this. So I'm going to do this flash bolt. It's going to kind of seem like a waste because there's just one guy. But when I sneak kill him, he's going to drop right between those two, and I get to burn all three. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. That felt sweet. And now I have a little bit of downtime, and I've done a good job of protecting Joseph, so there isn't actually that much time left. And like I said, that barrel is going to end up being irrelevant, but we are going to succeed, and it's going to feel absolutely great. But man, oh man, did this take me a huge number of attempts. I am not going to lie to you. It was a lot of attempts before I realized not to do commentary and just concentrate and try to actually complete it. I get absolutely mobbed there. But a well-timed grenade knocks everyone down, and we are very, very close to victory now.
Sebastian, let's go.
Whew, there it is. We finally did it.
Let's rest for a minute. We can't keep going at this pace.
I think we've got to get out of this place as fast as we can.
What about the tower there? We might be able to get a lay of the land. Anything's got to be better than staying here.
All right, and now we have an area that's very reminiscent of the castle section of Resident Evil 4, where the guys are throwing catapults at you, and here we have our brand shiny new sniper rifle. And we're actually going to get to try that out right away, because in that cutscene there, we saw a goddess statue way up high, all the way up there. So let's go ahead and put our sniper rifle on. And shoot that thing down. Now we're going to be able to pick that up much, much later. For right now, though, I say we visit the safe room.
How much longer am I needed here?
But man, I am really happy having finished that siege part. It is very, very difficult. So not having to do that again is very nice. Now I have another locker key, so why don't we go ahead and use it? Ooh, a bunch of green gel. That's totally... Oh, I thought that was going to do it for sure, but not quite. But it certainly couldn't hurt. Alright, we're doing fairly well on bullets. Now, why don't we go check the newsstand? I was just talking about not forgetting to do that, so let's make sure we at least check it. Yep, we're good, and we don't need to use our green gel yet because we're not quite at 50,000. So let's go take this arena on. Now, unlike in the previous section, Joseph is a pretty big badass here.
Let's be careful. It could be full of them.
And you'll see that one that just popped out of the door up there has an agony crossbow. And we're gonna want to take him out. Now, I like to stealth this part because of the crossbow-wielding dude. He can be a pretty serious problem. As can really any of them when they have guns. Now that one down below is just going to face this way and protect this corridor. So we want to get in through here and hopefully not get spotted immediately. Maybe I can get around behind this guy? Yep, that worked. We may as well disarm this bomb first. And let's get rid of this guy, too. All right, and now our sort of left side of this arena is going to be kind of our safe area for the time being. However, as you can see, there are a number of enemies, and we're going to kind of let Joseph do some of the work for us. Let's watch him go. He is awesome with this axe. And he may get himself hurt a little bit, but we never run out of healing for him. And so as long as he's not totally overwhelmed, he can pretty readily take out individual enemies with very little trouble at all. Now, this is where this arena is going to pick up a little bit.
We'll have to take them all out before we can get in.
Oh, I missed that shot. That is the worst.
Now we can get through without getting skewered. We won't stand a chance if we don't take out those other guns.
And he's going to send 100 new enemies at us. We can watch him kind of filter in from here. And there they go. Now, I do want to make sure I'm keeping an eye on Joseph. just making sure he doesn't get overwhelmed by too many guys. But a lot of them are going to drop these one-hit kills, and there is even one waiting in the room beneath me. Oh, he spotted me. Bam! Look at him go. It's funny, because in the previous section, he is such a huge liability, and in this one, he can pretty much tank this whole thing. And it's a good way of killing a huge number of enemies without spending very many bullets at all. Now, I do need to take out this elevated thing. Too slow. Let's try it again. Joseph, you literally almost walked in front of my sight. Look at him. God. He's just a killer. Yes. And this is a fairly solid strategy because there are just so many enemies in this section. It's kind of unbelievable. And aside from that first part, it is very difficult to get any stealth happening. Now, I feel like while we're over here, we may as well pull this. And that's going to flip 2 switches over there. And you have to pick which one you want to pull. Now, because I played this game a bunch of times, we're going to pull the one on the left. But there's no way to know what it's going to be. Joseph, you are a monster. And so really, what ends up happening is the left door is a really great reward, and the right door is just a whole bunch of enemies. That fat one just sort of floating a little bit off the ground and staring at me is fantastic. I gotta come around the corner a little bit, but then I'm concerned about that guy up ahead of me. So we're just gonna kind of take this slowly and deliberately. And just make sure we don't get in too much trouble, because we can get really far back ahead on economy and ammunition. I do really need to hit this shot, though. All right, you know what? I got an idea. Let's just run up here. We'll let Joseph deal with that one, I think. Get him, Joe. There we go. Now we have kind of a clean area to aim at this guy. I'm really glad I hit that shot because I don't have very many sniper rounds left. So we'll let Joseph deal with this last guy, but while he's pathing towards us... Oh! It's right on top of me. Well, I suppose I've even got a spare axe, so we'll go ahead and spend that on him. And let's open the mystery door. We're going to pick the one on the left. Not only is it a bunch of enemies in the one on the right, but it's 3 fat ones. Just to kind of really twist the knife on you. Let's get all loaded up. Now, there was one green gel, yeah, right up there that I missed. So we'll head back and grab that in just a sec here. Let's get our sniper rifle loaded up. We found a few bullets for it, so that is pretty nice. And then we've just got to kind of walk off the ledge of this and we can grab that green gel. And we are very, very close to 50,000. I'm getting hyped. We have one last catapult, I guess you'd call these, to kill. I cannot get a look from there, so... You know what, though? That fat guy standing there is gonna bother me. Let's go kill him. I feel like he's having trouble because he's not touching the ground. Well, that was a waste of ammunition, but we'll be fine. Oh, another wave. Okay. Well, we can wait. Got a few extra shotgun shells behind me, so I feel like the shotgun for this part will be reasonable. Joseph might be able to take them all out. And it always feels good when you're doing kind of an escort mission, but your escort actually kind of kicks ass. That's just a great feeling. A whole nother wave. I did say there were a huge number of enemies in here, and I wasn't kidding. But we'll wait right here for them. Guys? Did they path the other way? Nope. Hit him, Joe. There you go. Chopped his head right off. Here's our torch friend. Did you drop a torch for me? You did. Okay, well, at this point, I really want to take that one out. Oh my god, there's a whole nother wave. Okay. I gotta say, I'm impressed. I'm starting to feel like it won't ever end. Yes! Man, that sound is so satisfying. You can do it, Joseph. I believe in you. Yes! Thought I saw something down here, but maybe I'm just crazy. Alright, is that it? Not quite. I mean, if they'll keep sending them, I'll keep killing them. Alright, I think that's it, finally. Now I feel comfortable to go take out that catapult. Alright, that is the final catapult. Now, let's make sure...
Nothing should stand in the way of getting to the tower now.
Let's make sure we've got some flash bolts on. Because we've got to deal with the sadist. And we're going to deal with him the same way we did the first time. Which is by repeatedly stabbing him in the gun. Let's make a few more of these. Because I would like to kill him all the way with the knife here if I could. But we'll see. If it takes too many more than this, then I'm not going to do it. Will that do it? It will. Awesome.
Let's be careful. It could be full.
And that gives us exactly 50,000 green gel, which is super perfect and exciting. And now what we want to do before we leave is make sure we get that locker key we shot down right away at the start of the arena. And this chapter is quite long, and we are going to continue it, but I think that's going to do it for today. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.